Welcome to our journey through the wisdom of great minds. A scientific man ought to have no wishes, no affections, a mere heart of stone. I am turned into a sort of machine for observing facts and grinding out conclusions. I love fools' experiments. I am always making them. It is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. If I had my life to live over again, I would have made a rule to read some poetry and listen to some music at least once every week. A man who dares to waste 1 hour of time has not discovered the value of life. I feel most deeply that this whole question of creation is too profound for human intellect. A dog might as well speculate on the mind of Newton. I cannot persuade myself that a beneficent and omnipotent God would have designedly created parasitic wasps with the express intention of their feeding within the living bodies of caterpillars. Ignorance more frequently begets confidence than does knowledge. We can allow satellites, planets, suns, universe, nay whole systems of universes, to be governed by laws, but the smallest insect, we wish to be created at once by special act. I think the best measure of a man's honesty isn't his income tax return. It's the zero adjust on his bathroom scale. Man tends to increase at a greater rate than his means of subsistence. The mystery of the beginning of all things is insoluble by us, and I for one must be content to remain an agnostic. How paramount the future is to the present when one is surrounded by children. The very essence of instinct is that it's followed independently of reason. I can indeed hardly see how anyone ought to wish Christianity to be true, for if so, the plain language of the text seems to show that the men who do not believe, and this would include my father, brother, and almost all my best friends, will be everlastingly punished. And this is a damnable doctrine. It is a cursed evil to any man to become as absorbed in any subject as I am in mine. I am not apt to follow blindly the lead of other men. I have tried lately to read Shakespeare and found it so intolerably dull that it nauseated me. I love fools' experiments. I am always making them. I have steadily endeavored to keep my mind free so as to give up any hypothesis, however much beloved, and I cannot resist forming one on every subject, as soon as the facts are shown to be opposed to it. To kill an error is as good a service as, and sometimes even better than, the establishing of a new truth or fact. What a book a devil's chaplain might write on the clumsy, wasteful, blundering, low, and horribly cruel works of nature. There is no fundamental difference between man and animals in their ability to feel pleasure and pain, happiness, and misery. If the misery of the poor be caused not by the laws of nature, but by our institutions, great is our sin. The very essence of instinct is that it's followed independently of reason. My mind seems to have become a kind of machine for grinding general laws out of large collections of facts.